Hey guys, it's NCSFan001 here, welcoming you to another one of those weekly trophy list update videos. Today's date is Monday, January 4th, 2021. So 2020, 2020, whatever you wish to call it, is finally done. Finally out of that year. Hopefully 2021 is better. I mean, they set the bar pretty low last year, so I can't imagine it can get any worse, or at least not much worse. Anyway, this will have covered the week of December 28th through January 3rd, so covering this first sort of half week into the new year. Obviously, I was gone for a few days, so during those few days I was gone. I did not earn any trophies, obviously, but otherwise I did earn a few trophies this week, so let's go ahead and look at what we've got. The first game I earned trophies in fact, the first platinum I've earned in a few weeks. When did I earn Goosebumps? That was back... Yeah, it's been nearly a month since I've earned a platinum. So, I earned the platinum in Heavy Fire Afghanistan. This is, of course, the Japanese version. As I've said before, I could have sworn this game was better when I played it years ago for the first time with the North American version. But I honestly must have really been mistaken because either that or the game has really not aged well. Now, I do like rail shooters, don't get me wrong. I enjoy a decent rail shooter every now and then. But this game it's unfortunately pretty bad. Otherwise, though, the Platinum Trophy is rather easy overall. It has a couple of frustrating parts that I wasn't expecting, mostly due to my own just impatience, though, is the main issue. But there are occasionally a couple of missions that might trip you up just a little bit on Veteran, but overall the game is very easy. It shouldn't give you too many problems. So for the Platinum Trophy, you're going to get these first few trophies for completing the game your first time on Rookie, in which case the enemies shoot you less quickly. That's really the only difference between the two difficulties is the enemies shoot you less quickly, and there's a siren going off. I wonder what happened this time. Anyway, then you have to complete the entire game a second time on Veteran. The difficulty trophies don't stack because you don't have access to Veteran difficulty when you start the game anyway. So, you do have to beat the game twice, which is fine. It's not really that long of a game. It takes like 3 hours to get through, probably. I mean, you could probably do it in even less time than that. I don't really know exactly how long it takes, but it's not a long platinum at all, or not that time-consuming of a game. But there is a little bit of grinding that's going to be required on some of these future trophies. So, you have to get a total of 3,000 kills, which you should get by the end of your second playthrough. I'd be very shocked if you don't get this one by the end of that second playthrough. The headshots is, I believe, the last trophy I got. You probably are going to have to grind this one out a little bit. I suggest just replaying the first mission of the game a few times on Rookie and just take your time and just slowly headshot each and every enemy that you can. And within a few playthroughs, you should have enough. You should get over 100 by the time you finish your second playthrough. You'll probably have like around 200 at most by the time you finish your second playthrough, unless you were really focusing on headshots. Because in this game, hitting an enemy once is an instant kill, so headshots are not necessary at all. So just keep that in mind when you're playing through the game, if you're playing through the game. Then you have to get a chain of 5, 7, and 10 kills. This one is probably one of the slightly tougher trophies in the game, from what I remember. Though it's really not that bad because there's a very easy spot to do it during the escort mission. It's like around the 9th mission of the game. It's the one where you're in the helicopter. That is a very good mission to do this one in because there's, at like the very beginning of the game, at the very beginning of the mission at least, you can just like not really kill any of the enemies because you can't even take damage in that mission. So just don't really kill anything. Just wait for a few moments until you can get a bunch of them grouped together and you can just let loose and easily get over 10. You can actually get like 13 or 14 if you're really good about it. So it's not too hard. I just suggest looking at a video to know the exact spot where you have to do this at. Then you have to destroy 500 destructible objects. There's pretty much no way you're going to miss this one. You'll have it well before you finish your second playthrough, maybe even on your first playthrough. You have to fire a total of 25,000 bullets, so firing 20,000 should come naturally by the time you finish your second playthrough. If you're really good at the game, you might not get through 25,000 bullets, so you might have to grind this out a little bit, but you'll probably get it while going for the headshots and grinding out the headshots. If not, just load up the first mission of the game and just start firing away, or go to any mission with a turret section and fire away. It's pretty much up to you. You have to finish any mission with accuracy of 5% or lower and with 50% or higher. These are both best done on the shooting range missions. For this one, just fire your gun into the air a few times, because the missions only last for 30 seconds and you're not getting shot at, so just fire into the air a few times, you'll have 0% accuracy, you're good to go. For this one, just hit one target with one bullet and you're good to go there. Then you have to finish a mission with only 1 health bar left. I would say don't actually actively go for this trophy unless you have to, and just see if you get it by accident, because I came very close to this, if not maybe getting it naturally just by playing through the game by the end of my second playthrough. So I would say just wait and see if you get it that way. If not, you'll at least after your second playthrough know where the end of every mission is, so you can just play through the first mission on Recruit, let yourself get down to low health, take just enough damage at the end to have only 1 health left and complete the mission. And it's sort of the same way for this trophy, except you have to finish a mission without getting hit at all. This is best done during the first mission as well, because the enemies are pretty non-aggressive, especially on rookies, so you can just kind of pop out slowly, just kill them one at a time, and you have more than enough time to stay in cover. The only problem is that there is one guy that'll jump out with a knife. If you aren't ready for him, he will probably end up hitting you. But that's a little bit later in the mission, but otherwise this trophy is very easy. So like I said, overall the game's pretty easy. There's just 1 or 2 trickier spots on Veteran where the enemies just kill you really, really quickly. That might take a few tries, but as long as you are playing, you know, non-inebriated like I was, you're probably going to be okay on both difficulties. So don't worry too much about this one. It's not a very time-consuming platinum either. I believe you can actually plug in multiple controllers if you want to make it even easier on yourself, because that like increases your health. So that might be a thing. I know that was a thing in Shattered Spear. But with that, I've now finished 3 out of the 4 Heavy Fire games. The only one left is Red Shadow, which I believe is a VR game that doesn't even have a platinum, so maybe someday. I will also mention, because I forgot to mention it at the very beginning, didn't get the chance to play any Overcooked 2 this week, but that's fine. Currently, with this game, the base game obviously is basically done, except for the arcade and versus and some grindy trophies that I'm trying to get during the DLC. Surf and Turf is obviously all the levels are 3-starred. It's not that difficult of a DLC, but there's still these 2 grindy trophies, which I will probably start working on in the near future. Then with Campfire Cook-Off, I've currently gotten through level 2-3, as well as both the Kevin levels so far. You don't have to do the Kevin levels in the DLC, but me and Blair are doing them anyway. But I finished the first 3 levels of World 2 in this, so pretty close to being done with World 2, so next time we hang out, I'll probably get through Campfire Cook-Off and get started on Night of the Hangry Horde. So it'll take a few more playthroughs for us, or a few more times working on the game to finish off the DLC, at least the actual story-related stuff in it. Otherwise, I did not have the chance to play any of Destiny 2 or Call of Duty World War II this week, unfortunately. But I also will point out that it is the start of a new month, which means another chance to get some free money in GTA 5 Online. Just log into the game a couple times over the month and you'll get a free $1 million. I had like 9.5 million in the bank on Sunday when I logged into the game, and I spent about half of that buying the submarine, which is really, really cool. I like that thing a lot because you can launch guided missiles out into the world and like go after griefers and stuff if you really want it, and be a griefer yourself and, you know, fight other submarines. It's really, really cool. I like that a lot. I mean, thankfully you don't have to do anything with it for any trophies, but it is cool to have. So that's another thing. If you see me logging into GTA 5 a little bit, it'll be for that reason, because I still don't know when GTA 5 is going to release on the PS5. I don't know if it has an actual release date yet. So the second game I worked on, and also earned the Platinum Trophy in, was Wolfenstein Youngblood. So we can look back through the entire trophy list here. So Wolfenstein Youngblood is probably the easiest Wolfenstein game in terms of like actual raw difficulty, because you can do everything on the easiest difficulty, which makes the game a complete joke. And in all honesty, the game kind of turns into a joke once you're pretty high leveled and have some high leveled gear, and you can just go back and just sort of brute force your way through challenge mode or very hard difficulty, especially on very hard. But challenge mode still requires just a little bit of skill and stuff. But basically, you just take the laser Kraftwerk, the laser semi-automatic or fully automatic rifle, and just go through like everything with that. It kills all the bosses except for the final boss like instantly, so it's really, really easy with that. But the Platinum Trophy does take quite a bit of time due to some grindy trophies, and we're going to go over that here. So you have to complete any mission with a co-op player. It can be, you know, a friend, it can be matchmaking, but this is an online trophy, so if you are going to start this game up, get this trophy done quickly, just in case for some reason the servers were to go down. I don't think it's very likely because the game's only been out for like a year and a half, but you never know these days. Kill 500 enemies is unmissable. Kill 20 drones is unmissable. 10 charging super soldaten, those are the guys that'll jetpack towards you pretty much. They're bigger and more armored. This is really not that hard. Just knock out a little bit of their health and let them charge at you and hit them a couple times with the laser Kraftwerk while they're flying at you. And that's all you have to do. Then 50 enemies with explosives is pretty unmissable. The diesel grenade launcher is really good for this. 50 enemies with thrown weapons. The throwing knives and stuff are pretty powerful in this game, so definitely focus on using those whenever you're in stealth. It's much better than actually trying to stealth kill enemies, especially with takedowns, because the takedowns are kind of useless in this game, because the stealth in this game is terrible. It doesn't even really need to be a thing. It's just not good, because the enemies see you and hear you from really far away, and it's just kind of pointless. It's not like the previous Wolfenstein, the previous 2 or 3 Wolfenstein games where it actually was useful. You have to fire 100,000 shots, which will probably come naturally while getting all the other trophies, but if it doesn't, you can just go anywhere, or even like go to the firing range in your base and just shoot until you get it. Pretty simple. 250 loot supplies is unmissable. You're going to get this one very early on. This one is unmissable. You're going to kill more than enough enemies to eventually get gore kills on enough of them. Reviving 25 times is going to come naturally as well. Same with the code locks. Completing all missions, you have to complete all story and side missions. There's not a ton of them. There's maybe around like 30 to 40 missions in the game. And some of them are fairly short, so it's not really that big a deal. That includes the story. Then you have to get 50 kills while airborne, which is a little annoying because it's not really the most practical way to attack enemies, but just do it on weaker enemies and you shouldn't have much of a problem. Stealth killing super soldiers is pretty easy. There's a number of places you can do it. Just sort of slowly work on it through the game. Just sneak up behind them and melee them. You have to have some abilities to do that, though. Dual wielding is not as fun in this game just because there's only 2 weapons you can dual wield, the pistol and the machine pistol. And that's just the main problem with it, is there isn't as much dual wielding to do in this game, but it's still an easy trophy. This one's probably going to come naturally. 75 enemies using the right weapon type against them. I mean, it's either the weapons that hit the big armor or the weapons that hit the little armor. So like the little armor is just the little slits that's not the big open squares next to their health. So that's like the Jaegers and a lot of the basic enemies. You're going to want to use like the machine pistol and the SMG and the shotgun and the electric gun against them, versus the regular pistol and the Sturmgewehr and the laser Kraftwerk for the tougher enemies. You're going to get this one naturally, nothing to worry about. You have to tuck away all 4 hammer weapons and use them later to fully upgrade them, so you're going to get this one quite easily. The 50 enemies with the crush ability is a bit of a grind, but it's not really that difficult. It just might take 2 hits to kill them with crush until it's upgraded. This one's probably going to come naturally if you're trying to cloak a lot. If not, just, cloak, then immediately uncloak and throw a knife at somebody. That's probably the best way to do it. 100 pep signals is pretty much unmissable, especially because your sister's going to be using it all the time, and that's going to hopefully remind you to use it. Fully upgrading weapons is going to get you these next 3 trophies. This takes a very, very long time because you have to get about 140,000 coins to do it. And that takes, a good 30 hours to do to get to that point. It takes time. It's kind of a grind. I mean, there's a lot of grindy stuff in this game, which I'm going to continue talking about here. But you have to fully upgrade every weapon. That includes all of the hammer weapons. And it takes just a lot of coins. It's a simple grind. That's really all there is to say. Then you have the ability trophies. You have to buy all of them. And for this one, this was the last trophy I got. It's because I had to reach level 92 to obtain all the abilities. And some people were saying there were other ways to get ability points, but if there was, I don't know what they were. So I found the best way to grind XP quickly was to just, once I had finished everything else in the game, I was around like a level 86 or 87, so I still have to grind out about 5 levels. So at that point, I would suggest just replaying the first mission of the game in stealth for most or all of it, and you will get multiple stealth bonuses, especially if you're playing on challenging. There's only a couple of fights you'll have to do that way. That is by far the easiest way to do it. Just completing that mission in stealth will get you a nice big chunk of XP for a pretty short, pretty easy mission. Then you have to obtain power armor skins. These have to be bought with gold. So I think you end up needing closer to like 150,000-ish gold to, or not gold, silver coins to get the platinum, although you can also buy these with, some of these at least, with the gold bar currency that is a microtransaction if you really want. Then we get a bunch of story-related trophies here. Everything through there is story-related, so you're going to get all those naturally just by playing the game. 200 supply crates is pretty much unmissable while going for coins and for collecting stuff. The red supply crates, the souvenir, the cassette tapes, the readables, the floppy disks, the 3D glasses, and the UVK covers are all collectible types, and they will all appear on your map once you get a specific upgrade that you can get a little bit later in the game. Well, not even necessarily later, just depends on how you prioritize your ability points. But you can get a little thing there that will show you where all the collectibles are on your mini-map, which will make collecting them much easier. Or you can just follow a guide if you really want to, and that might make things a little bit faster. A few of them are a bit tough to find, and some of them will not be available until later in the game, or perhaps even after you finish the game. But they are not really all that hard to find, though there are a lot of them, so just keep in mind that this is a collectathon as well, but you're going to be getting all of them to get more XP and coins for your collectible trophies, for your other stuff, I mean. Then you have to collect a total of 60,000 coins. You're going to get this one while upgrading all weapons. Enter all the undergrounds is going to come naturally while doing all the missions, so that's pretty much unmissable. Then you have to reach Mastery Level 10 with all weapons in the game, so with some of these, it's easier than others because the pistol is decently powerful, but kind of short on ammunition. The Sturmgewehr is pretty good. It's the assault rifle. The Kugelgewehr is the shotgun. It's fairly decent, especially against unarmored enemies. The electric rifle, as I call it, is very, very good. It's very strong. Same with the laser rifle, except the electric one is better against the less armored people, and the laser is better against the heavily armored enemies. But those are both pretty easy to get the kills with. So this is going to require you to get like over 400 kills pretty much with each weapon in the game. So it is a lot of kill grinding. You know, not quite Black Ops 3 level, but a lot of kill grinding for sure. This is the grenade launcher. It gets really good when it's upgraded. It's kind of weak when it starts out, but it's really, really good upgraded and becomes kind of OP. You actually do have to reach level 10 with all the hammer weapons to get the top silver trophy up here. Or at least I thought it was silver. It's not. It should have been silver for the amount of grinding you have to do. So you do have to reach level 10 with all those weapons, which comes to a problem of ammo because a lot of them don't have common ammo. So just kind of work on that one more quickly. The Blitzgewehr is the SMG. It's one of the weaker weapons in the game. The machine pistol's kind of weak unless you dual wield it. Melee is probably going to come naturally if you're trying to do any stealth. This one is not an ability you're going to get until pretty late in the game, but it's not a whole lot of kills to get in with the own bullets thing, so it's pretty easy. And then this is the story-related trophy for finishing the main story. So it's not really a hard platinum. It's like a 3 out of 10 in difficulty. It's just really, really time-consuming. You know, it took me, I think, 37 or 38 hours to do. You could probably do it just a little bit faster, or it might take you a little bit longer depending on your skill level, so be ready to set aside 35 to 40 hours if you want to get this platinum, and be ready for lots of cringe, some bugs, and just not that great of an overall Wolfenstein experience. So at this point, with the Wolfenstein franchise, I have now done Wolfenstein The New Order. I've done it twice, PS3 and PS4. I will not be doing the German versions of any of the games because that's just a waste of time and money. Then I have done one version of the Old Blood of the two. The other one's the German version. I am not doing Wolfenstein 2 The New Colossus for obvious reasons, but it has two versions as well, a normal and a German. Then there's Youngblood, which actually does not have two versions. Cyberpilot has two versions, and I will do it eventually if I get a VR. Wolfenstein 09 is unobtainable due to the online being down as of early 2020. And then there's Wolfenstein 3D, which I should probably buy at some point with the way the store is acting now. But I mean, that's only like $5. I should probably go ahead and buy that at some point before they end up delisting it or something, because it's not too hard. But it doesn't have a platinum either. And finally, we got Borderlands 3. Obviously, I've had the platinum for a while now. But I finished the first DLC, Mad Moxie's Heist of the Handsome Jackpot, in which I obtained 6 of the 7 trophies this past week, so we'll go through all of them. The mission All Bets Are Off is the final mission of the game. This is a fairly short DLC. I think it's the shortest of the 4 from Season 1. It only takes like 6 to 8 hours, most likely, to get through everything. But the thing is, you only have to complete the story. You don't have to do the side missions in this one, which is different from the other DLC. So you just have to beat the main story, which isn't too time-consuming. Though you might want to do the side missions just to level up and for completion's sake. Now, the statues per ember, the mayor's outfit, and the Torg's hot sauce bottles are the crew challenges for this DLC, so you have to do all the crew challenges. There's not that many. There's like 6 areas in this DLC, and 5 of them have collectibles in them. So it's a fairly small DLC compared to the others, as best I can tell. But yeah, just find the collectibles. They'll show up on your map when you get close, or I would suggest just following a collectible guide of some kind. Whether that be a video guide or picture guides or whatever, it's up to you. But do keep in mind that you can't do the mayor's outfit until later on in the DLC. I think you can do it before you finish the DLC, but not until later on. Like, you at least have to reach Trashlantis before you can even start on this one. So it's better just to save the collectibles for once you finish the DLC and have everything unlocked and are more powerful. The Blackjack minigame is RNG based. It is not difficult, it's just RNG based, so just keep shelling out money until you get it. I got it first try without even knowing it was a trophy, so that was pretty awesome. But there's a bunch of blackjack tables everywhere, so this one shouldn't cause you too much trouble. Return for a chat with the Clapstructor. This is going to be done in the Trashlantis area. You can actually do this immediately after doing the mission with him. You can just immediately go talk to him after that mission's over and finish it pretty quickly, so that's what I would recommend doing. This trophy gave me probably the most trouble just because it's 100% RNG. It's not quite as bad as like Jimmy Jenkins or Michael from Sanctuary and Borderlands 2, but it is a bit annoying. It takes some luck to get him to spawn because he spawns in only one specific area of the central part of this DLC, and they say like a 1 in 10 spawn, but I don't think that's correct. I think it's more like a 1 in 20 spawn at best. And some people have done it like over 100 times to be able to get him. So it's a really unfortunate that they would put another RNG trophy like that. So it's not difficult, it's just RNG. I suggest switching in and out of Mayhem mode in order to speed the process up instead of quitting out of the game or traveling to other locations. But otherwise, that is it for the first DLC. It's pretty easy, it doesn't take too much time. Okay, that was weird. That was really weird. It like froze up for a second. Then the second DLC, Guns, Love, and Tentacles. This DLC is definitely better than the first one. I'm liking it a lot more. It's also a much bigger place to explore. The trophies are a little bit more involved this time around, though. So you have these first 3 trophies are all story-related trophies. So I finished 2 of those 3 story-related trophies. The story's a little bit longer. There's a total of 17 missions, I believe, in this DLC, including the side missions. So for this trophy right here, Death Trap is a character that is a partner of Gage. I'm not really sure what the best place to farm this is going to be because I know you're going to have to grind a little bit for it. So I'm sure there will be a place to do it though because there's no missable trophies. I've already checked that. Then you have to complete all the crew challenges and side missions. Like I said, there's a total of like 17 missions or something in this DLC, so it's not a ton. The crew challenges, there's, I think, 3 different kinds. Once again, like there was last time, you have to find presents for the wedding, you have to destroy some kind of statue, and you have to do Hammerlock's hunts. Then you have to get all the Echo Logs, which is a very different kind of collectible, and these don't show up when you get close to them, so you are going to want to look at a guide for these. There's like 18 of them, I believe. The 4 rare spawns I don't really know much about, but they're just rare spawns apparently, so more RNG, great. And then the fish jokes, there is this fish that you can talk to that's hanging on the wall of the lodge, and you have to talk to him 25 times, which is a bit grindy because you can only do it once every time you're there, so just travel back and forth there as often as you can just to slowly work your way through that. Bounty of Blood, you have to complete the entire story as well as all of the side missions and crew challenges, so that's going to get you those first 3 trophies. The rest of these trophies, I believe, are story-related or side mission-related, so I think that this DLC is fairly simple in terms of what it expects you to do. There's no miscellaneous trophies, at least. Psycho Krieg and the Fantastic Fustercluck. This one, I think, is mostly story-related and side missions and crew challenges, so I think it's much like the Bounty of Blood DLC, but I could be wrong on that. I haven't looked at either of those very heavily. And then, of course, there's Designer's Cut, which is an entirely new game mode that I am not really looking forward to playing, though I can't even do it yet because it is the 2nd season pass, so I don't have access to it yet. So, let's sync up our trophies. With that, we are level 713, 13% of the way through, 19,824 total trophies, 485 platinums, 2,805 golds, 5,296 silvers, 11,238 bronzes. So, plans for the upcoming week. I will continue to work on Borderlands 3 DLC. I will continue to work on Overcooked 2. I will hopefully get the chance to work on either Destiny 2 or Call of Duty World War 2, but you never know at this point. I am going to get started on Spider-Man Miles Morales because it just got here on Gamefly. I'm very excited to play that one. And of course, I need to probably go ahead and get started on Far Cry 2's single player. That's going to take about 40 hours to get through. Because, we're starting to close in a little bit there on that, 500 platinum mark and on the 20,000 trophy mark. So, we're getting a little bit closer to that. So, probably got to get started on Far Cry 2 within the next couple of weeks. Probably like next week. I don't know if I'll do it this week because I just have enough other games currently on my plate. So, that is going to be it for this week, guys. Please like, favorite, share, comment. Let me know what you guys have been working on. Subscribe and ring the bell if you haven't already. And I will see you later this week for more videos and streams.